first year, I just remember being like, I don't know, I was so in it, like literally playing with Barbie dolls, up until like the day I started high school, and then I just remember some like kid giving me a cigarette or something at like the back of the school, or a vape. I can't remember. I think it was a cigarette. I think it was a cigarette, but it might have been. I remember feeling so guilty the first time I smoked a cigarette. So I like canceled all my plans that day. And he like made my dad come pick me up. I didn't tell him what I did, but I felt so guilty about it. As I should have, because nicotine is a terrible thing to get involved in, and if you haven't, don't, like, literally just don't. It's such a, like, it's just so not worth it, and it's so hard to quit. But I'm actually like 50 days and no nicotine. Yeah. But anyway, so I think this was in 9th grade, and at some point I just being, I was undiagnosed autistic at the time, and so I was just a very socially anxious kid, and I just was gonna hang out with whoever wanted to include me, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do very good at making friends, or like, I just kind of bounced around friend groups. I didn't really have like a solid friend group. I just kind of sat with whoever would. If you hear a little dangling, jingle dangling, it's one of my cats is in my room, and she's got her collar's got little bells on it. But anyways, so I remember it vividly because it was, I think we had a party that night, and I'm trying to remember whose party it is, but honestly, or like what I was like getting it for, but I'm assuming we were going to like a party at somebody's house, but I honestly have no idea. It's been like a decade. But yeah, I guess it's been like 10 years this year. I remember it because it was the poetry slam. I don't know if every school does that, but every year we would have like kids from other schools, and our schools would all get together, and you'd do like poetry. You would read your poems and like then vote on like the winner. I remember it because we were in the back watching, and then we were like, let's leave. And so we were going to get alcohol for a party, and there was this guy that was like 20 something, and we were like 13, and I don't know how the people around me knew him, but I like did not question it or care, I guess. So I had met up with this guy a few times to just like buy alcohol off of. Obviously, he's a weird person. His whole vibe was that every 13-year-old knew him, 14-year-old knew him, and was buying booze off him, right? Like, weird personality to have as a grown man. But we would just give him like $20 because he was in prison. The police got him because he was arrested for kidnapping. Safety first. So basically, like, don't go meet up with random men, obviously, because, like, what a fucking idiot. Like, of course that's what could have happened. And it did. Well, it happened to somebody. Now, I tried to research it and I couldn't figure out who he kidnapped. Like, I knew he was in jail, but I think it might have been his own child he kidnapped, though. So I feel like he wasn't personally coming for me. He just wanted his own kid. But crazy it is if someone is in like an altered state of mind, like I was, but I still, I am scared of men, and I don't like men, like, sober, stoned, drunk. I'm cautious, and I'm not saying that as like, whatever, there's lots of, I have men in my life who are the greatest people I've ever, just people that are so kind and sweet, but in general, I'm not gonna get in a strange man's car, like, no. And then, so I walked another, like, 15 minutes, like an idiot, to my high school, which is still, like, a 45-minute walk from my house, and when I got there, I just went and laid in the field for a bit. I don't know, and I think I had, like, some mini alcohol bottles in my purse, so I was just lying in the middle of the field. I think it was raining, too. Like, this is how you know, like, mental health was below the ground, okay? And then I was like, fine, I'll order an Uber because it's really scary out here. And I was like, really freaked out. But I was just like chilling, wasted, so I was like, okay, I'll order an Uber now. So I ordered my Uber, and then I get in the Uber, and right off the bat I was like, damn, okay. They gave me the worst Uber they could have. He just had a lot of questions about me, and then the second we got to my house, he like wouldn't like let me out of the car until he showed me shirtless pictures of himself. I literally can't make this one up. I think about this all the time because this is one of the funniest. Just like, what the fuck? Looking back, I should have given him like 0 stars, guys, but I was just like, so like, just like, what's going on? That I just like went inside and went to bed, and then the next day I was like, that's kind of funny. But then it wasn't funny. It's not funny looking back. I'm like, that's really bad and really unsafe. But he wouldn't let me out of the car because he was showing me. I just didn't like. I thought about how weird it was, but I didn't consider reporting him. But I should have. But yeah, he wouldn't let me out of the car because he was just like sitting in the front, making me look at all these shirtless photos of him, being like, "Oh, do you like my physique? Do you like this about me?" And I was like, "Oh, I was not attracted to this man in any way." But I was like, "Oh, yeah, you look great." Like, just like, I don't know, when you're like locked in some random fucking stranger's car, I'm gonna be nice, like, whatever. And he like kept, it was just so weird, and he like wouldn't stop going up, and then I'm pretty sure he like brought up his ex-girlfriend or something, and then he asked for my Snapchat, and I just wanted to get out of the car, so I was like, this is my Snapchat. Then he added it, and then the second I got my house, I like unadded him, but he spent like 5 months just unadding and trying to re-add me. So I like blocked him. But so funny to think about, because how often is he doing that? And why? Like, that's insane to do as an Uber driver. Okay, wait, I can think of another one. Okay, another time I was on the SkyTrain, and I don't even know if I was drinking. I'm gonna say I was, if I was coming home from downtown. But I could have been coming home from school, but I usually took a different train. Anyways, I was on the train, and they're loud. Trains are loud, okay? And so I usually have my noise canceling headphones on because I don't do good with loud sounds, and I don't like talking to strangers. But this guy kept turning this guy that was like 6'4", okay, like this is like a big dude, and I'm like a 5'5". This was also when I was like very sick with my disorder, so I was very, very small. Like, you could literally pick me up with one arm and like book it out of there with me, okay? And he started like chatting me up on the train, and I was just like not really interested, I don't think, and I just had to be home. I don't think I was drinking. I think I was coming home from a project or something, because it was pretty early in the day. It was like maybe like 6. I don't know why I wasn't on the other train. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant to the story. But he started chatting me up, but I couldn't really hear him because there were so many people on the trains and like noises. So I kept just being, so I can't hear you, and like he'd repeat, and we were just having this really awkward conversation. And then he started asking me out, and he was like, let's go right now. And I was like, oh, I can't, like, I have to get home. I have to be home within like an hour, and it takes me an hour to get home, but like I have to. And he was like, oh, get off with me at the next stop, I'll drive you home. And I was like, literally what? Like, it with the rush hour, when rush hour happens in this area, like, you might as well transit, it takes longer to drive. And I was like, no, I have to get home. And he started being like, let me take you out, I'm So I was like, just kept saying no, no, and he like would step off the train, and then when the doors would start closing, he would get back on and be like, get off with me. So I'd be like, why are he's getting off at stops that obviously aren't even like his, because he's like saying, this is a stop, we have to get off with me now. And then when he would get off and the doors would start closing, he would like, get back on. You're embarrassing yourself. You are literally embarrassing yourself. And then yeah, he just got really, really aggressive. And finally, when I got off, I was so happy. And then I ran into him on the train one other time, and I got off. Nope. Nope, not happening again. Okay, there's one more I can think of. I like that a lot of them just start with at the train station, on the train. Because yeah, that's where you're gonna meet people. I had one on the train. This is how I know sometimes I'm really living in my own world. One time I was on the train. This is not the story I was gonna tell, but this will be a cool one. And I'm very chill vibes with like the people of my city. Like, you know, if there's people, there's always gonna be people like who are on something, doing their own thing. And 90% of the time, 99% of the time, they're very nice. Like, they're not out here to bug anybody, or like, I just have no issues with like people that are unhoused or on drugs in the city. Like, I don't know. People are so open arms about it all the time, and it literally just, it could happen to anybody. It's a situation, and I'm always just wishing those people all the best, and like, you know what I mean? I have no hate for that, but people are really judgmental a lot of the times. But I was on the train one time, and this guy was like, you could tell he was maybe on something, and all of a sudden I realized that everybody around me on the one side of the train, everybody had gotten up and ran to the other side of the train and was huddling in the corner of the cart, the train cart, and I was the only person on that side of the cart sitting in a chair with this man standing directly above me. So I'm looking around like, hey y'all, like, what's going on? Because they all just got up and ran, and like, I didn't see what was happening. And then I felt awkward getting up and moving because he was standing right in front of me, that I was like, what are we doing here? Turns out I guess he took a knife out of his bag. And I didn't notice. But then he immediately was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for scaring you. I didn't mean to scare you. And I was like, it's okay, you're fine. And we just started talking. We just hung out the rest of the train ride. But he was explaining why he had it, and I was like, you know what, like, it's fine. You know, like, it was something about protecting a woman that he knew that some dude, I don't know, but I was just like, dude, I'm not an op, okay, I don't know you. Like, dude, but it was just so, like, it was so funny. He like was profusely apologizing to everybody, and he was like, it just fell out of his bag or something when he was grabbing something else out. But I'll just remember being like, wow, that is natural selection for sure. How was I the only one who didn't get up? But in the end, they were all a little, well, I'm not gonna say dramatic, because if somebody pulls a knife when you're in public, like, you probably should run. I just didn't notice it. Anyways, they ended up being a really nice guy. Okay, another so weird, but he was getting really aggressive after, and I was just like, okay, dude, I'm leaving. I'm going back inside to see my friends that are still in the bar. Like, I'm not gonna stand around you. But yeah, so I always like rule with them. I'll just like, if I say no and then they get weird, I'm just gonna give them my number because I can always block it, I guess. But it's like, I don't know. I live in a big city, and safety is very important when you're. It's like if I'm with a group of friends or whatever. But if I'm completely alone and intoxicated, I'll always say yes. Just like if I've said no and it doesn't work, though, I'll just give it eventually because I don't want confrontation with anybody when I'm alone, like especially a man who's taller and bigger than me, right? But I gave this guy my number. Not the guy who was saying when you and your boyfriend get in a fight, you'll hit me up. But this is a different story. So I walked with this guy and I took like, he just like stood beside me on the train for like my 2 stops, and then he asked for my number. And I gave it to him, and then I forgot all about it. And the second I got home and unlocked my front door, he started calling me. And I was like, that's so weird. So I did not answer, obviously. And then, I'm not kidding, this guy never once texted me, but he would call me all the time with no warning. So I blocked his number. And like 7 months later, mind you, I met this guy for like all of 5 minutes. It was like a 5-minute drunk interaction on the train. Like, asked my name, but like talked to me about like what he was doing downtown. I don't know, basketball or something. I don't know. Fuck if I know. And then asked for my number, and I just gave it to him so I could leave. And then I started getting calls from an anonymous number, and when I would answer, he was like, oh, this is I think his name was Caleb. No. Callum. I don't know, some boy name. And he was like, oh, this is Callum. And I was like, oh, who is this? So I was like, I think you have the wrong number. And he was like, I know it's you, Daisy. I know your voice. Which is crazy because I met this man like 7-8 months before for like 5 minutes. So to be like, I know it's you, I know your voice. So then I started like kind of doing a really like light accent. And I was like, no, my name's like Liana. Like, I just got this phone a week ago. I'm really sorry. And I just like, and he was like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, Liana. And he was like, oh fuck, like I guess she changed her number. I'm like getting whatever, so I just was like, oh, sorry, and like hung up. And then I had a few more of those calls, and I just ignored them or would pretend I was Liana. But it was weird. It was so weird. He never even texted me. Like, that's not game. That is not, like, there's just so many things here. There's just so many ways you can go about like talking to a girl. Also, the thing is, like, if you there's in my opinion, in my experience, there's nothing wrong with a dude coming up and like complimenting me. I was at a concert recently and some guy came up to me and which I thought it was funny because it was like mid-concert, which I was like, okay, whoa, it's kind of bold to chat someone up mid-song. But he was like, just asked for my number, but when I said no, sorry, I'm engaged, he was really nice about it and was like, that's all good, I hope you guys are really happy, like, have a great night, enjoy the concert. And I was like, you too, thank you so much. And that's fine, like, I appreciate that, thank you for the compliment, you know, it's whatever. And there were plenty of times when I was single where like I would ask a guy for his number and he'd be like, oh, I have a girlfriend or something, and it's like, it's whatever, like, I wish you the best, I hope it all goes good. But it's when you're like pushy and when you're like become like, you start like harassing the person. If I say no, I'm not interested, then just like, that's okay, like, have a great day. Like, if somebody tells me I'm not interested, or God forbid if somebody blocked my number, I'm not gonna start calling them off like unknown numbers, because it's like, why do you think that's game? Why do you think that's gonna work for you? I'm so confused. I would just be so embarrassed to do that. Like, if they don't want me, I don't want them. But yeah, those are some funny random stories, but basically like 3 of those were just where I probably could have been kidnapped. The train one was so weird though, when the guy was like, they were all basically train ones. should I put this at the beginning of the video, actually? Should I edit it? No. But my best safety advice, I should make a whole video about this. I'm not even kidding. Bark. It is literally, I know that takes like, it takes a form of confidence or like not really giving a fuck, but like if you feel unsafe, like, now's your time not to give a fuck. Bark. That's my number one advice for women. It has literally done me so good in so many circumstances. If a guy touches me inappropriately or like is like making me really uncomfortable or like up my pace, you just give them like a like full volume. I'm gonna mute it so you can really see how much I'm going in, but like you just really bark. Don't give them like a chihuahua either. I mean, do that if you want. Chihuahuas can be vicious, but I'm talking give them your bark. Okay. Another good one is if you ever think someone's like, this is so dumb, but if you ever think someone's gonna jump you, which like I feel like people only get jumped when they're like 14 years old. I never got jumped, but when I was like 14, like I would hear the people, like some people I knew, like, this person got jumped on the weekend. I'd be like, that sounds like if you ever think someone's gonna attack you or something, start going like wailing on yourself because they're just gonna think you're insane and be like, what the fuck. But barking is literally the best advice I could give, because it genuinely, I've never done it and not seen like genuine fear in a man's eyes. Like, it's somehow they'll be really confident about whatever they're doing, whatever they're up in your business for. When you told them to go away, and when you stop barking, it's like the life drains from their eyes. Like all confidence they had is wiped away, and they also no longer want to talk to you. I'm not scared to look insane in front of a man, though. No, probably because I am, though. I feel like I could make so many videos about just night out story times from my silliest party days. But yeah, okay. That was some stories. I hope they were like not, I mean, they're kind of scary, I guess. I'm sorry if this video was not relaxing and just caused a lot of anxiety to all the women out there, and men I guess, but I just kind of find them funny at some point because it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Also, a birdie. I honestly can't find my birdie, but they're really, really good to have. I refer to it as screaming colors and noise, but you pull it and it flashes blinding